Hey, everybody, and welcome to the season finale of the Touchdown Talk. My name is Chris, and I am joined by my awesome co-host who's been with me all season long, Mr. Pablo Martinez. Pablo, how the hell are you, buddy?
Good morning, Chris. Good morning, fantasy football fans all over the globe. Here we are, championship week. I'm doing great. Thanks, man. How about
Yeah,
yourself?
championship week. Doing okay. I wish I would be doing better if I'd made it into championships and didn't get knocked out last week. So that was a little disappointing because I was feeling good. I was feeling good, man. And then I mean we'll dive into it. But all of a sudden, Tina, who I was playing in the one league, had two players that combined for 80 points, and that was it for me. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm cooked. I am cooked.
Yeah, that's tough. It's super difficult. I think you were going up against Jaden Daniels and
Yep.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
They completely balled out last
All
week.
of a sudden,
and
Chuba decided to have a monster game.
yeah, big time. And yeah, it's unfortunate. Sometimes it's tough. You had a great season though overall in both leagues. It was really a good season, but it didn't really work out last week, unfortunately.
Yep. Nope. It was not my week. And once again, not my year when it comes down to it, as far as making it all the way. I mean, at least I made it to playoffs, which was nice. And you made it to playoffs too. I mean, you at least made it to playoffs in one league. And you are you're in it, man.
Yeah. Didn't make the playoffs in our LOEMP league, but I made it in Dirt, and we happened to come across each other's paths in the Dirt semifinals, you and I.
Yeah.
And I got a little luckier. I sweat it on Monday night, and here we are. The Touchdown Talk will be represented in the Dirt Super Bowl of the 2024 season.
Yep. There it is. So, all right, guys. So, listen, let's get into it because we got, not that we have a whole ton to cover, but we do want to, look to see. It is championship weekend. Games have already been played because we had two games happen on Christmas Day. And then we've got games happening today, as of today, Saturday. And then, of course, games on Sunday. So, lots of fantasy action. And, of course, if you've got any questions about if you're in the championships, if you made it, let us know if you got any questions about who you want to start, who you want to sit, the whole thing. If you are in a league that has a last place award and you don't want to get that last place award, also, this could be very helpful for you. So feel free to chat with us and send us over your questions wherever you are listening or watching us right now. Because if you are watching us, we're over on Facebook and we're on YouTube as well. And of course, we're broadcasting live over on Radio Garden State as well. So hopefully you guys are hanging out with us today, getting ready for the end of fantasy football season. So Pablo, where should we start this morning? You want to start with where we're leaving off with our picks and all that, and where do you want to go?
Absolutely. Why don't we go to the LOEMP league first, and I'll pull up our picks for the season.
All righty.
Let's do that.
All righty. I mean, go through the standings too. So while you're pulling that up, I'll go through the standings really quick. So how the end of the season, barring playoffs, shook out with standings is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with a 10-4 record. In first place, Suck My Dicka at 9-5. At the number 2 spot, Keith's Cool Team 9-5 at the number 3 spot. Shardy McDennis at the number 4 spot with 8-6. My team, Yoda Best Team, 8-6. And Obi-Wan Mahomie, the 6th seed in the championships with a 7-7 record, facing off against Suck My Dicka, the number 2 team. And then when we go down the line, all out of love, you're just out of it, man. Just shy.
Mm-hmm.
With a 7-7 record. Don't even bother with 6-8. Manja Magic with 6-8. CD's Nuts at 6-8. Absolute Trash at 5-9. And Jerry with It Takes Two at a Tango at 3-11. And in this league, we don't have a losers bracket or an award for coming in last place, which we are talking about is going to change for next season. It's going to be instituted. There's been a lot of ideas. We're going to pick something, and it's going to get instituted for next season for sure.
That is correct. Yep, and we're very much looking forward to adding a little spice into that last place award because it's just making it more fun. In the other league that we're in, that last place matchup, the Super Bowl, is just red hot, and it's just so much fun to watch. Whether you're in it or not, there's a lot going on. So real quick to recap the touchdown talk picks of the season. Last week we did not have a chance to get our picks in, but
no.
The week before we were tied at a total of 104 apiece. So coming into the season finale, we are tied, my friend.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, with 3 matchups left to pick, I think we'll probably not end up in a tie, but yeah, we'll see.
Probably not. Yeah, there's not a lot left here for us to pick from, but still we will talk about them because there is a lot to talk about when we come to it. And because there already have been games played, there's points on the board and all kinds of stuff. So we can sort of start to kind of get a feel for who may come out on top. But hey, listen, anything can happen, as we've learned in football, especially with this season being crazy and as wild as it is. Players that you thought would go off and completely go hog wild wind up not doing that or not even finishing the game. So I also think too, a lot of teams, you may see guys starting to get rested here. So the starter that you're counting on may not go through the whole game if they're doing well and the team's crushing. They may pull that player and bench them in the second half. So there's a lot of those little variables right now that can affect how you shake it out in the championship.
There is. Yeah, it definitely is hard. It's also, we've had a lot of injury in these past 2 weeks, and it's hard to scramble if you lost a key piece to your team, but you made it into the semifinals or into the Super Bowl. It's sometimes really, really hard to replace that really valuable asset that brought you here. I mean, there's not typically teams don't have a piece on their bench that's just as good, and sometimes it becomes really hard to scramble and find what your next best option is, especially with new guys coming up that become more relevant as these injuries occur. So we'll be looking at that as we come across our different matchups for today. So Chris, in this league, we have our consolation bracket isn't really of relevance in the LOEMP league. We're basically just looking at our championship game, our Super Bowl matchup here between Obi-Wan Mahomey and Ditka's team, Suck My Ditka. Tina and Wayne have managed to successfully arrive at the big game.
Yep.
And their current projection right now has them with Ditka projected for 140.57 versus Obi-Wan Mahomey at 191.32.
Yeah.
Several games already played, so lots of points on the board already.
Yep. Yeah, lots of points on the board already. Of course, Patrick Mahomes finally had that game that everybody wanted him to have all season long, which was a big point game. Put up 40 points, 3 passing TDs, threw for 320 yards, 29 completions. He finally had that big game that everybody was hoping he was going to have all season long. Because, as from a fantasy perspective, Patrick Mahomes hasn't been the powerhouse point scorer that everybody thought he was going to be. But this game on Christmas Day, he did it. He did what everybody was hoping he was going to do. And in Obi-Wan Mahomey's case, it was what he needed. And because, on looking on the other side, now this is Tina. How Tina knocked me out was Jaden Daniels had an amazing game the week before. He put up 50 points on Philadelphia last week, which completely killed me. The week before that, I had Baker Mayfield really bail me out, put up big points. So in this case, I got knocked out because of Jaden Daniels, and then also, Chuba Hubbard had a big game from as well, which also killed me. Now this week, Chuba's questionable. Not sure. It's saying here he's being placed on IR as of this morning.
Yeah.
So
news broke today.
And it's funny too. Like they have this putting on IR, and he still marked as questionable. So come on, Yahoo,
It,
update
it
this.
it actually just broke a couple minutes ago that he would be placed on IR, and I don't know exactly how the Yahoo platform performs. I think they might
Yeah,
need to wait until he's officially
right,
on IR through the NFL before they can update the platform.
right.
So that might be
That's
a reason for
potential.
the delay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tina's gonna have to make a move here,
Yes.
and she's gonna have to start looking at our bench. I don't know who's on waivers, all that, but a move is gonna have to be made in that spot, for
Yeah.
sure.
That's a big one.
That
That's a
is a
big
big
one.
one.
So yeah, looking at the players that already went, Wayne must have been on the good list for Santa because
Yeah,
Christmas Day delivered a ton of points from both of his quarterbacks. I mean, and look at the quarterbacks that he paired together. He did a
I
great
know.
job during the
He really
draft.
did.
He had Patrick Mahomes, he had Lamar Jackson, who's having an MVP caliber season.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy had a big game. So did Mark Andrews on Christmas Day, all four of them. So that right there put him way ahead
Yeah, I
right out of
mean,
the gate.
135 points, almost 136 points in one day, 2 games. So Wayne really, yeah, as you said, must have been on the good list because
Yeah,
Santa
yeah, he
delivered. Um, Now, is he gonna punch a ticket to the championship here? So indications would say yes, but Tina still has a bunch of players left to go. And Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin going into Atlanta on Sunday night could give Tina a good boost. Derrick Henry helped her out a bit, 24, almost 25 points. Unfortunately, though, Joe Mixon did not. Joe Mixon did not help Tina out at all with only 5.90 points. But Sam Laporta has been great all season long, so he could be a big target Monday night in San Fran, a team that has nothing to play for right now. San Fran officially knocked out, just kind of like honestly just trying to end the season, I think, without anybody getting seriously injured. So could Detroit run up the score? Maybe. There could be some potential there. And Amir Abdullah is sort of like one of these guys that I think everybody's had on their team at least one time or another throughout the season. Seems to have been passed around the league a bit. So we'll see if that helps her out at all in that spot. But I mean, losing Chuba Hubbard is not great.
no.
Looking at her bench, Jacoby Myers, she's got on her bench. She has Darnell Mooney on her bench. She might be able to. Yeah, I mean, he's in a flex spot, Chuba. So she can
Yeah,
make a
well,
move here.
she already has a
I
running
mean,
back
Zach
in the
Ertz.
super flex spot, Amir Abdullah. So
Yeah.
she can move that guy up to the flex spot. She's got options. She could put a wide receiver that she's got on her bench, like you mentioned. Mooney and Myers are good options if you have to squeeze them in. And as far as that other super flex spot that becomes available, if she does move
Yeah.
Abdullah, she could start the quarterback that she has on her bench, the Cleveland Browns, Dorian Thompson Robinson,
Mm-hmm.
or she could maybe look out to see who else is available. Right now, as things stand at this very moment, Jalen Hurts on the Philadelphia Eagles has also been ruled out. So Kenny
Ah,
Pickett, still available in this league, is going to get the start with the Eagles. So that could be another option, an Eagles team that needs to get a win.
yeah.
So that might not be a bad pivot option looking at this Chuba Hubbard loss.
Not bad at all. So Pablo, I mean, looking at this, let's be real. I mean, we're always looking for the positive, and so, but I mean, let's look at this objectively. You could say there's always a chance, but I got to say, Tina's in a bit of a bind right now. She's in a bit of a pickle. I think this is a deep hole that she's in right now.
She is. Oh, this is tough. This is one of the most difficult holes to climb out of, but this is the last effort that you have to make and you have to hope for. It's possible. It's within reach. You know, the one thing on Tina's side that I do like a lot is that she's got the combo of Jaden Daniels along with Terry McLaurin, who's been removed from the injury report, so he's a full go for
Yeah.
tomorrow night. And the Washington Commanders are coming off of 10 wins so far this season. and
Yes,
they're looking to get into the playoffs. So
they are. They're
they
gonna fight.
desperately, yeah, they're gonna throw everything they have at the Atlanta Falcons, and they're playing at home.
Yep.
So they'll be able to try to secure that playoff spot, which for a rookie quarterback is quite an impressive accomplishment in year one. So I do think that, if she's lucky enough, because now you really depend on luck. As far as a fantasy football manager is concerned, you did everything that you could. You put them in your lineup. Then after
Right.
that, it's up to them. But it is possible. I do see a world where, Terry McLaurin could catch 3 touchdown passes.
Oh
He's
yeah.
capable.
I mean, Jaden Daniels himself could run in for a touchdown. I mean, he's proven that he can be a serious quarterback. I mean, like I said last week against Philadelphia, which was a very close game, he put up 50 points. The week before that against New Orleans, he put up 32. Against Tennessee, he put up 38. Against Dallas, he put up 40. These are the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, and the other thing that plays in Tina's favor, Atlanta is also leading their division, so
Yeah.
they too are going to try to get a win against a team that they probably see as a beatable team. Like if they
Right.
want to get into the playoffs, the Washington Commanders is a team that they are going to have to beat. So it could be a high scoring affair. I do think that there's a chance that Tina's team can put up her own set of 190 points, maybe somewhere around there. Maybe not 190, but there's a chance that it goes beyond 140. And if she's lucky enough that Obi-Wan Mahomey loses his footing somewhere,
Yeah.
maybe it's on one of his other starting spots. Who knows? If there's an opportunity there, I think that obviously Tina's team will be very happy to take it. I do think it's possible, although if I had to choose, I'd definitely be much more happier on Wayne's side with my projected 191.32 points.
Yeah. And Viviana Martina is coming in saying, "You could do this, Tina."
The Dirt champ. That's right. Never give up. Yeah,
Dirt
never
champ.
give up.
Some words of encouragement from the former Dirt champion. I guess still current champ until it's been passed. So still current Dirt champion coming in with some words of encouragement for Tina. Listen, Tina has had an impressive run all season long. She was in first place for a while. First place has been swapped a couple times, and you know what? And here she is. She's in a championship. So I say, Tina, throw everything you got at Wayne. It's not impossible, but I will, if I'm gonna make a pick, an objective pick, I'm gonna go with Obi-Wan Mahomey to win the championship here.
Yeah, that is the objective pick for sure.
It's the objective pick.
I'm gonna all right, for the sake of picks, I'm gonna say that the world out there that I see is gonna come to fruition, and I'm gonna pick Ditka's team for the win here for the championship. It's a tough one. It's a super hard pick. I actually like the options that Wayne has left too. Miami's defense playing against Cleveland, who has not been good with the quarterback change and all that. That's a great start for a defense. Jalen McMillan also been doing very well as Josh Jacobs and Drake London. So it's going to be super, super tough. But you're here, and it's not every day that you make it to the Super Bowl, so you got to give it your all. And Ditka will be my pick.
All right, so there you go. Suck My Dicka is going to be Pablo's pick for the championship. And I am going with Obi-Wan Mahomey just based on objective facts, pretty much. That's really where it's at. Although, we always do root for the underdog here on a Touchdown Talk. So I think I do wish both players here the absolute best of luck. And listen, anything can happen. Tina coming back in with best of luck, Wayne. May the rest of your players be arrested for stupid shit before Sunday.
You never know.
There we go. You never know. You never know.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. So listen, guys, there it is. This is the championship in the LOEMP League right now. Suck My Dicka, Obi-Wan Mahomey. How this works, obviously, is whoever wins gets first place. Second place goes to whoever didn't win this match. And then the third place consolation round right now, not that it's really worth talking about, but just for anybody that's been following along, it is between me and my brother, my team, Yoda Best Team, and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, who was in first place, guys, and also won the highest, had the highest point totals, right, of the season. Did he officially get that title as highest point
He
season?
did. He
Highest,
did.
yeah.
He locked that up. Yep.
Yep. So he did win that. Does a winner get anything for that? Do we give a prize for that, or is that's just bragging rights?
I think we had some type of prize in
Okay.
there, but
Right. I don't
I don't know
remember
if you
what
want
it
to
is.
look at the matchup for third place between you and
Sure,
your
yeah.
brother's team.
Let's take a quick peek at it, and then we'll run over to the dirt. Since we've got two important matchups over there that actually do matter.
Yeah.
Obviously, too, with this league currently, how it is that we normally draft where we finish. However, there has been chatter of that possibly changing for next season. Do I have that correct?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we heard from Kevin, our commissioner, that we're going to change that for next season. I don't know that we really heard a lot about what the change actually will be. We'll stay tuned and find out at the next managers meeting, and see what we want to implement. But yeah, I do. In this league, this is the 5th season of the LOEMP league, and every year we just drafted in the order that we ended the year prior.
Yeah.
So a switch up there, something to change things up a bit, would definitely be a good idea, I think.
I'd be into it. I'm into it. So, and I'm also into, once again, getting a last place trophy going as well. So, yeah, let's just look at it real quick. So, right now, projections are very close. My brother's already up on the board with 22, almost 23 points. He had Russell Wilson go the other night, who, unfortunately, did not come out on top. 205 passing yards, 1 rushing TD. 23 completions. Didn't have a monster game. I mean, not awful, but when you're playing, when you see the kind of game that KC had, not great either. So, but hey, serviceable with the points go. So he's on the board. But looking at the rest of this, I mean, my brother all year long has been one of the big sleeper picks of the year, was picking up Bo Nix in the draft. And boy, did we all shut up really fast once we started seeing that. And that was a great draft pick by my brother this year.
Yeah.
Was
that
was just fluke, because he didn't draft any quarterbacks. He went all like running back and wide receiver and all that first. Got all that, stacked that, and then was like, oh, I got to get a quarterback, and got Bo Nix because it was pretty much the guy that was available. And boy, did that pay off.
It did. He did very well. I wanted to point out, it's been a couple seasons now that your brother has benefited from 2 things. One is selecting well during the draft process. I think last year his team made it to the Super Bowl. He won the league, right?
He did win the league last year. Yep.
And in the Super Bowl, he was starting mostly drafted players. Here again, he's basically starting the entire team that he drafted from day one. And that says 2 things. A, he picks them well, because it's not the first time he's done it.
Right.
But B, there's also a lot of luck there that comes into play, because injury has not taken any of these guys out. I mean, you can draft well, but there's only so much you can do about that if your players go on IR and are missing a month or 2 of the season. In this case, he's not only picking well as far as quality goes, he's picking guys that are finishing the entire season, which is fantastic. That's why he's had such a successful run for the past several seasons, and didn't work out this year to get to the Super Bowl, but he came pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, guys that he's starting, just so everybody, if you're listening at home and all that, just my brother's roster right now is, Bo Nix, Kahil Shakir, Jamison Williams, Cooper Kupp, Saquon Barkley alone, huge monster pick, and pretty much will be breaking that record this weekend. James Conner, Brock Bowers, Breece Hall. Of course, we did say he had Russell Wilson. He's been right at Denver defense a lot all season long, too. Denver's defense has been actually very impressive this season. So, while on my side, been rolling with Baker Mayfield since day one, and Baker's gotten me some really good wins this season. And I know that picking him up, he was my draft pick, and I was really psyched to pick him up because I had a good feeling about Baker, and it's pretty much paid off. I mean, at least I got to the playoffs, hopefully on Baker's back. But Amon-Ra St. Brown was my keeper from last year. Jamar Chase, I picked up in the first round. Malik Neighbors, I did pick up in the draft as well. He is listed as questionable right now with a toe injury, so we'll see what happens if I'm gonna have to make a swap. Rico Dowell was somebody I picked up. I don't know if that was a trade or I think I may have been a trade with my brother.
Yeah, you got to be a trade.
James Cook, Johnny Smith was another big pickup I had this year, which he's been great. One of the other than Tyreek Hill has been Tua's go-to. Ramondre Stevenson, Mason Rudolph was somebody I had to pick up because basically Jameson Williams was Jameis Winston, was doing me pretty good, and then they decided to bench him. So he's been benched. Other than one game, he had a really bad game, but he was doing really well. And anyway, that's my lineup. So I still feel pretty good going into this with my brother, even though it's projected pretty close as I'm staring at it.
It is close, but I do think you guys have two really, really good teams. For the sake of picks here, I would pick your team, my friend co-host. I would definitely say your team looks pretty solid and has a strong chance of winning here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna pick my team too. And
there you go.
And there you go. So this will be the consolation round for third place. Now we got a quick question coming in from YouTube. Alex Flores is asking, it's a PPR league, Debo or Dobbins?
That's very, very interesting. Dobbins just got activated back from IR.
Yeah.
For the LA Chargers, who also lost Gus Edwards. So it's actually like perfect timing that they're activating him right now. And let's see what the projection looks like here. He's playing in New England.
I think
that's
so.
it. Yeah, they're playing. They're playing in a few minutes. Are they?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Saturday game.
Yes, we have 3 Saturday games today. We were just talking about this off air. 3 Saturday games for our championship week. And that's actually a quite interesting and different take for the playoffs because we normally don't get Saturday games. So yes, so Dobbins is playing at 1:00 today Eastern time.
Yeah.
In New England, and the other question was to either start Debo for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah,
now, the Niners are already eliminated. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys are like, listen, they're just trying to finish out the season without getting hurt. Is kind of where it's at. It's where I'm at. Debo. I feel like Debo's been a bit of a disappointment this year. From fantasy perspective.
Last week, I think he had a solid game, but
he did. He did.
That was
but overall, he hasn't been super productive. Brock Purdy hasn't been terribly awesome either. Everybody's come back down to earth, I think, on these guys. This is tough. I mean, Dobbins, I like Dobbins. I don't know. I don't know if I could trust Debo right now. That's a problem. I don't know if I could trust San Fran today, although the matchup. Let me look at this matchup.
Yeah, it's a tough one. So San Fran is playing at home against Detroit. The matchup is good.
Yeah, Detroit.
And Debo had 9 targets last week. And so the other element here that's important is this is a full PPR league that Alex Flores, thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Is saying. So that actually, that actually makes a bit of a difference for me, at least, because, Dobbins coming in at a time where Gus Edwards left sounds fantastic, but we haven't really seen Dobbins in a long time.
No, we haven't.
If you're playing your championship game for fantasy purposes, in a full PPR, I think I might lean Debo, even though he's been less than great.
You make a really good point. I mean, I like Dobbins, but we haven't seen him in a while. At least we know what we're getting with Debo. So I think I would probably go for Debo then as well. I think I got to agree.
Yeah, last week he had a strong game. So, let's hope that he continues that for you, Alex.
Yeah, so Alex, hopefully that helps a bit for you, but thanks for asking the question. Appreciate it. Yeah, if anybody else has any sit questions, please let us know. Happy to help any way we can. So, all right. So that kind of wraps it up here for the LOEMP League. Once again, in our championship, we have Suck My Dicka versus Obi-Wan Mahomey, who is projected to win. I chose Obi-Wan Mahomey just based on facts to take this one. And Pablo is trying to throw some good juju, positive vibes toward Tina's way. And so he has chosen Suck My Dicka to take that. And then in the consolation bracket here for third place, it's versus me and my brother, another brother bowl, Yoda Best Team versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And we have both chosen my team to be victorious in that. So, all right, guys, let's move on now in our last bit over to the Dirt Invitational League, where some exciting stuff is happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dirt Invitational League is in its 15th season.
Amazing.
15 seasons for the Dirt Invitational League. I happen to have the team that I'm managing called Uruguay. So for today, being the Super Bowl for the Dirt League, I decided to wear the Uruguay jersey for good juju, hoping that I represent all those Uruguayans. 3.5 million fans are out in the streets in Uruguay right now, rooting for my fantasy team because they understand how important this is. 15 seasons in. So
that's true. And they should be. They should all be rallying right now.
Absolutely. Oh, they haven't slept all night. They can't wait.
No.
So the current trophy is sitting right here. I'm gonna try to bring it into frame right here for a minute.
Yeah, bring that into frame. There you go.
This is actually Viviana, whose team Manja won the 2023 season. So it resides here at home, and I figured, let's bring it into the front of the screen so we could just look at it. And
so a lot of names on that trophy, man. 13 seasons of names. Look at that.
15 seasons.
15 seasons.
And yeah, we've got a couple of different plates here for each one. We've definitely got room to keep going all the way around. So we're probably going to have this trophy for a very long time. Yeah, we got some interesting matchups today to look at, both in the championship bracket as well as in the consolation bracket. Our toilet bowl game is no less exciting, in my opinion.
No, exactly not. Because, exactly, it is just as exciting because, as we know, if we look at it, here's the current holder of the Dirt Poop Trophy, the last place trophy, the toilet bowl, which has to be displayed all year round in a place that everyone can see who comes in and out of your home. Current holder, Mr. Chris Carr.
That's right.
Sure he wants to get rid of this.
He does, and he's actually. I think we should get into that matchup first because Yahoo doesn't really support a toilet bowl type, last place bracket. So we kind of follow this ourselves offline.
Yeah, and
the teams who lose in our consolation bracket continue to advance all the way to the Super Bowl. Yep. And the current holder of the third trophy, Show Me Your Touchdowns, Mr. Chris Carr, has once again made it to the big game for the poop trophy. So he's going to try to pass it off to BMF, which is the team he will be playing against this week. So we'll probably need to look at him. Like if you select one team at a time, you'll be able to see.
Right. Yeah. So we'll go through one team at a time. And just so everybody knows in the standings wise how it's shaking out is Show Me Your TDs, touchdowns, sitting in 10th spot with a 4-10 record, the current poop trophy holder. And BMF sitting in a 12th spot with a 3-11 record. So let's go over to Show Me Your TDs roster here and see what he's got going on.
All right.
Zoom out a little bit. There we go. So he's got Joe Burrow, Demario Douglas, Calvin Ridley, Ramondre Stevenson, Tajee Spears, George Kittle, Jalen McMillan, and Aaron Rodgers all starting currently.
Yeah.
And he was a faithful owner of Christian McCaffrey.
He was. That's kind of the reason why, unfortunately, he's here now. CMC didn't really come through for him. Cost him a very, very high draft price and didn't really deliver what was expected of him. You know what? I'm looking through the website, and I'm trying to see if we can see what the projection is for Chris's team. At the very top there, if you click on projections, I want to compare it to the app, and it's slightly off.
There we go.
Yeah, and you know what? It's slightly off because in the app, it looks like he's currently projected for 119 points.
Got it.
And at the very top there of the screen, I think it says 124. So it's close.
124.
Yeah, it's close. I'm not exactly sure what Yahoo is looking at on the website versus the app, but he's projected for about 120 to 124 at the moment with the current lineup that we're looking at. He's looking at his team and hoping and praying that he gets a good game out of Aaron Rodgers and
Joe
Demario
Burrow.
Douglas, Joe Burrow. Yeah, George Kittle needs to show up.
Yeah, George Burrow. Definitely needs to show up. He needs. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger too for anybody that's watching at home. See if I can get. Oh, there we go. Make this a little bit bigger for everybody.
Good.
Calvin Ridley. Hopefully, against Jacksonville, maybe he'll have a decent game. I mean, Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, Jerry Judy's on his bench. I mean, he doesn't really have too much on his bench that I would start in any of the guys that he's got. So I think I would go. I mean, Gus Edwards, of course, being out. There's really nobody on the bench I would swap out for any of his starters right now.
Not really. No, I think that's it.
No.
Jerry Jeudy. It's unfortunate. Jerry Jeudy was balling out with Jameis Winston, and then after Winston got benched, he just completely tanked with DTR as the quarterback for Cleveland.
Yeah, it really stinks. I really wish they would have left him. They really should have left Jameis Winston in. I think it, but you know what? Maybe he'll be wearing a Giants jersey next year. So,
hey, who knows? That wouldn't be a terrible thing. We would see a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah, we would. So, all right. So he's projected right now to 124. Let's take a look at BMF, his opponent, who's
all right.
Let's get his projected stats up here. He is projected. Can we get the projections here, Yahoo?
So I see it through the app. I'm trying to pull it up on the website as well.
Yeah, website's not turning over.
Yeah, if you look at the matchups that you have in the front page in the league overview, he's actually currently, as far as Yahoo is concerned, he's currently matched up with Ginger Ninja, even though that's not what we're following.
Right.
And he was projected at 119.
Although original projection was at 134. Unfortunately, Zay Flowers, he started, did not have a good game. Only 4 points, 31 receiving yards, 2 receptions. And Kareem Hunt didn't have a great game either. 8 points, 1 rushing TD, 20 rushing yards. And CJ Stroud, really big disappointment. Terrible game. Absolutely horrible game. I mean, they only got 2 points on the board. 185 passing yards, 5 sacks, and 1 interception. 2.5 points. Absolutely god awful. Now, that being said, some standouts he does have, Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon, they're going to leave Saquon in that whole game until he reaches the record.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I have a feeling once he reaches the record, they're going to bench him. So
I think,
how long does it take him to reach the record? We don't know. It could take the whole game. He may get it in the first half. I just have a feeling that once he reaches the record, he's grabbing pine.
From what I remember hearing, the rushing record, he's still at over 100 yards away. It was close to 200, I think. So maybe
between this and the Giants.
Yeah, he might need to play both games to get it, which is good for BMF because he'll likely stay in this game the majority of the game against Dallas at home.
Yeah.
And without Jalen Hurts, I think they're going to lean, just like last week, they're going to lean on Barkley a lot because they don't really want to put all the responsibility in Kenny Pickett's hands.
No.
So that's another plus for BMF.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that I'm a little, Devontae Adams is questionable right now. Hip injury. We'll see what happens. But he was actually coming on the last few games. Him and Rodgers were starting to look like the Rodgers Adams of old. So that could be a spot that could really help. We'll see if he plays or not. If he doesn't play, who does he have on his bench that could jump in on that? Let's see. Who does he have?
Adams doesn't play.
Brian Robinson Jr. If Adams winds up not playing, he's got Marvin Harrison Jr., Darnell Mooney, Brian Robinson Jr. on his bench.
Yeah, he's got a wide receiver in the flex spot, so he can move Josh Downs up, and then that'll open up the opportunity to start a running back if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's maybe what I would do if I would be in his place looking at that.
Yeah, so you want to be watching that because he may not play. Oh, did he already switch it? Oh no, he didn't. No, sorry, I'm looking at something else. No, he didn't switch yet. So he may want to be looking at that. He's got till tomorrow to make that decision. But I'd be watching that since our game's going today. You want to be careful that nobody that you might want to swap goes in today and they wind up on your bench, and then you're in trouble. So definitely something to keep an eye on. So all in all, looking at the current roster as is, he's once again projected out 119 versus the, what did we say for
one? It was also 119 on the other side. It's a really really close,
real dead heat.
Yeah, it's a really really close projection at the moment.
Right. So, who do you feel comfortable picking in this to win and not get the poop trophy?
So to win and not get the poop trophy, I think it's going to be close. I really do think this is going to be a coin toss, but I think I like the firepower on BMF's team a little bit more, especially with Barkley, knowing that he's going to want to prove himself to the league and to everybody. So I do think that he'll probably be putting up, barring injury, a lot of fantasy points. And I don't remember if we saw that on Show Me Your Touchdowns team, any potential players like that. So even though BMF, got off to a bad start on Christmas Day with Zay Flowers and CJ Stroud and Kareem Hunt, I'm going to pick BMF for the win here. So that means that our dear Chris Carr with Show Me Your Touchdowns would retain the Turd Trophy. That would be my pick.
Yeah, I mean, looking at his lineup, I mean, Joe Burrow is really the one player he's got that could put up big points, but they're playing Denver today, and Denver's defense has been pretty good. But especially it could turn out to be a shootout though, especially between him and Bo Nix. We could get a shootout there, which could result in some really big points. It could make up for some of the shortcomings of some of the other players on his roster. But is it going to be enough? Oh, Chris Carr coming in with no. Doesn't like your pick.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah, but let's I'm trying to be objective here. Let me look back at your team. Let me give it one more.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm looking through it. I'm trying to make an objective call here.
So really, if I could take any of these players to plug into my team, I'd really be most excited about Burrow and McMillan. I think those two guys have the highest potential to put up strong fantasy points. But with the rest of the team, some of these names are players that you really haven't seen a lot throughout the season. So you're really, holding your breath and hoping for the best. And although I do think it's possible, like you said, with Aaron Rodgers, like he's going up to Buffalo, bad weather conditions, how much are we really going to see Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, really, kill themselves on a game like that? It's possible.
It's possible, but is it Aaron Rodgers just trying to get out of this game without getting hurt?
Right. Is he thinking about next season already?
Right. Just like, can I just play this game and not get hurt? Can I, is that going to be the Aaron Rodgers, which I think I would be. So, all right. So let's make our picks and let's move on. You have already chosen. Are you going back? Are you reevaluating your pick?
I'll keep BMF as the winner of this matchup.
All right, you're going to keep BMF. I, just for the hell of it, because it's so close, and while I do agree with you with BMF, I am going to go. I'm going to go Show Me Your TDs, just because I don't want to see him hold on to that Proop Trophy for a second year.
I don't either. I don't.
I know. And we're trying to be objective here, but I'm gonna pull one of your moves, how you did with Tina. I'm gonna pull it with Chris. I'm gonna try to send him some good vibes and say he's gonna win just enough. It's gonna be just enough points to not keep the Poop Trophy.
Shout out to Chris, though. He's also playing in the Super Bowl for a championship in a different league, a league called Death by 1,000 Punts. He's in the championship game, so he might have Chris's stick together. That's what we hear.
Chris's stick together.
But he might have two trophies this year. One that he doesn't want, but
Right.
along with another one that is definitely the one that everybody wants to get. So good
Now,
luck to you boys.
if you win both, do you display them together so that way the gleam of the championship out like casts a
That's an
shadow
interesting
over the poop
question.
trophy?
Do you put the championship trophy in front and the other one just behind it? You know,
Right.
like how do you, you know?
As long as it's displayed, right? The rule
Right.
is it has to be displayed for all to see. I think I would put them side by side just so that the championship trophy shines bright and you
But
almost
yeah,
don't even think about the poop trophy or realize it's not an award that you want.
that's right. That's right. We'll stay tuned and see what happens. But good luck to the both of you. I'm sure
Yeah.
you both, Ruben, BMF, and Chris, with Show Me Your TDs, both want to win here. So best of luck to you.
Yep. And Tina saying poop trophy, glad it's not coming here. Yep. Tina, a previous poop trophy holder.
It happens. Yeah, it happens
It
to the
does
best of us,
happen.
and
It happens.
we're all happy when it doesn't
Yeah.
come to our house. Yeah.
All right. So let's spend a little bit of time with the time we have left here. Just looking at our championship here. Because we have a championship here. Your team, my friend, Uruguay, second place team. Once again, we're in another situation where a number 2 and a number 6 seed are facing each other, much like LOEMP League. So you got a 10-4 record versus Sharkbait with a 7-7 record. Right now, projections are not in your favor, my friend.
They're not. They're terrible. They're terrible.
And
so before we get into the
yeah.
details of these matchups, so some stats that I love to compile,
right.
and I was talking
Yes.
to Moose Knuckles that were super interesting. He's a big fan of stats like this as well. The 6th seed has never won a championship in either league, actually, in the Dirt League or the LOEMP League.
Wow.
But,
yeah, and the Dirt League's been around longer, so.
Yeah, 15 seasons. The 6th seed has never won the championship. So this could be this could set a new record here for Sharkbait being the first to claim that. This matchup here that we're looking at, Sharkbait versus Uruguay, is a rematch of the 2016 Super Bowl that we had in the Dirt League.
Right.
This was at the time Dan was managing a different name. His team's name was Master Deflators. He's proudly displayed right over here, Master Deflators, for that 2016 season that he went with a 14-1 record. He had one loss all season that year. So that was his one and only Super Bowl appearance, and he won. That's it. He's undefeated in the big game. So Sharkbait, a proud owner of the Dirt Trophy holder. And that was his one and only Super Bowl appearance. It was against Uruguay, and he came out with the win. So this is a nice opportunity for Uruguay to take revenge here. Uruguay, my team, I've been lucky enough to make it. I have a terrible record with the Super Bowl, but at the same time, it's actually kind of it's like a proud moment, but it's not so proud. I made it to the Super Bowl. This is the 8th Super Bowl appearance for Uruguay.
Wow.
In 15 years, 8th Super Bowl appearance.
So right now you're 0-7.
I won it twice.
You won it twice. Okay, so all right.
I did get 2 of them, but I lost 5. So I've been in it 7 times prior to this one.
Right.
I lost 5 Super Bowls. I lost the last 3 in a row. The last championship for Uruguay was back in 2015. So it's been a bit. Now, as the standings, as the live projections look, they look terrible.
Geno Smith did you 0 favors and quite possibly one of the worst Thursday night games of all time. That was, 6-3. What is this, hockey?
Yeah. It was painful to watch as a regular football fan, but as a Geno manager, it was the worst thing to sit through.
Oh my God.
Watching that football game. The weather was terrible, and it was just a bad game overall. I don't even know how much I can fault Geno. It was just a terrible game altogether on both sides. There was nothing to look for.
And then unfortunately, Nico and Joe Mixon did nothing for you either.
No. We were talking about that game on Christmas Day against Baltimore with Stroud, who also got just 2 points. That was such a disappointment to watch on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
The Houston Texans, who were a pretty strong team, these were 2 of their best weapons, along with Stroud, and all they did all day was get a safety. That's
You know,
it. Their
horrible,
offense put up
absolutely embarrassing.
0 points on the board. And yeah, for fantasy purposes, that was terrible. That was tough to watch. So, all that being said, I still think that my team is going to win here because Uruguay is going to come out with the Uruguayan grit, and
Hmm.
we're going to see some. I'm really confident on what we're going to see out of AJ Brown
Yep.
playing against Dallas and some of the other options here. I'm hoping for. All right, realistically speaking, though, for Uruguay, let's look at Sharkbait's team here for a minute. He's got such a good team. What are your thoughts on his lineup? Where do you think he's got the
Well,
strongest weapons?
I mean, Bo Nix, no doubt, is strong. We'll see what happens playing against Cincinnati today in Cincinnati. I mean, Terry McLaurin's good, especially if him and Jaden Daniels get into a good rhythm. Also, like Chase Brown, who's been a really good weapon. So, and Sam Darnold, although hasn't been great the last few games, going into Green Bay, it's going to be a big rivalry game. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. It may not be a big point thing. I mean, I think the standout players on his side that you should worry about: Bo Nix, Terry McLaurin, and I think Chase Brown. I would be worried. Are you worried about AJ Brown not catching passes from
Kenny Pickett?
catching passes from Kenny Pickett? Is that worrying you right now?
Well, not tremendously. I mean, last game, Kenny Pickett came in and AJ Brown ended with 15 targets, 8 catches for 97 and a touchdown. So he did well. He scored 20 fantasy points,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hopeful that against Dallas, who just shut down CeeDee Lamb, maybe this is a game where the Eagles can just get it done. And I'm optimistic that we'll be able to see some good production out of AJ Brown. The weather's going to play a role. This is in Philadelphia, so I am a little concerned, but optimistic overall.
Yeah, I mean, he was removed off the injury report. Seems like his knee is good to go, so that should be help. The other thing I'm looking at too, my friend, which could be a good boost for you, is obviously the stack here. Let's look at your stack of
Yeah,
Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and as an Amon-Ra St. Brown owner in the other league, hasn't done the monster points that he's done in the past season, but they are playing San Fran, but a team that doesn't have too much to play for, but they could run up the score. Because
they
I got to tell you
can.
right now, Detroit wants to they want to put the league on notice, and we could see it. We could see a show. We could see a show here. So that is a good stack for a big point production.
Yeah, I do think that they will run up the score. They're not, I don't imagine that they're gonna let their foot off the gas. So as of right now, the Detroit Lions have 13 wins on the season. So do the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing for that number one division place that will give them home field advantage in the playoffs. And having Sam Darnold play on Sunday is going to give having Minnesota, I should say, play on Sunday is going to give Detroit the edge on knowing that they need to get a win, and they need to do well on Monday night to continue in first place, because they are in first place as of right now.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic about that stack that I have right there. I think, I was talking to John, I was talking to Moose Knuckles a couple of days ago about this. I think that in my matchup here with Sharkbait, Dan, congrats on such a great season.
Yeah.
I think that as long as I can stay within about 50 points, there's hope for Amon-Ra and Jared Goff to put up a combined 50 maybe, and give me some chances to still compete and to win the league this season.
Yeah.
If the score is greater than that, that's tough for those two guys,
against
right?
Buffalo 2 weeks ago, week 15, Amon-Ra put up 30 points.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff in that same game put up almost 50 points.
Right. So, I mean, there is potential that it could happen. It doesn't happen every week, but
No.
it's a possibility.
But it's a very favorable matchup.
Yes.
for Detroit going into San Fran, whose season is done, and just I think it's just guys that just don't want to get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a Saturday start right here, which
Yep.
starts in about 2 hours.
Yep.
I'm starting the LA Chargers defense up in New England. And that wasn't my first choice of defense. I actually put in a waiver claim and lost to my Super Bowl uh, opponent right here. I put in a waiver claim for the Miami defense to play
Mm.
in Cleveland, and he beat me to that. So very, very, very good move on his part.
Good move. Good
I think
strategy.
Miami's going to do very, very good.
I think
So
so too.
overall, I got to say, Sharkbait, I know he hasn't played, all he played was a linebacker so far. So his offense hasn't
Right.
really
Hasn't
been put
gotten
on the
yet. Yeah.
field yet. But he's got a super strong team.
He
And
does.
I do think this is going to be extremely, extremely difficult for my team to get a win. But never give up, never say never.
Sorry.
I will be picking Uruguay here for the championship win.
Okay. Well, very good. So that is not a surprise there. I think all indications point to the fact that Sharkbait could win this championship. However, there are a lot of variables and no one's gone yet. And there's, I mean, you've got guys on your team that have gone and they didn't perform well, but anything can happen. I mean, I was also the other end of like a um, very high projection and lost. I mean, I was projected to beat Tina by like 20 or so points and I lost. And, and she dropped 80 points or 90 points on me with two guys. So listen, it is possible. So I'm not going to say never. In support of my co-host here, and because it's championship, the Super Bowl, I am going to pick your team because why not? Why the hell not?
Very good. Very good. Excellent pick,
I'm
my
making
friend.
an
Excellent
emotional
choice.
decision. I'm making an emotional based decision. Emotional pick.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, excellent choice. Thank you
So
for the support. Best of luck to Dan. You've done a lot of things right so far this season. So
yes.
I wouldn't be surprised to see you go all the way. Congrats if that's the case. I know this is our season finale for the Touchdown Talk. So for the record, if you do get the win, Sharkbait, congrats on that. However, I still think there's a chance.
There's a chance. There's always a chance. There's always a
There's a
chance.
chance.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen in
Absolutely.
fantasy sports. So, and just for the hell of it, let's look at this matchup real quick. Just for the hell of it, let me bring this back up. The consolation bracket is literally between myself. Oh, where'd it go? There it is. Is between myself, the Killer Beers, and the first place 12-2 Bodie McBoat faced Pam.
This is our third place matchup. Yes.
Third place matchup right now. Pam projected to beat me. I'm on a 146 to 163. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it is what it is. I actually haven't even really looked too much at my my roster yet. But JSN, Jackson Smith Nigba didn't do much for me for 4.5 points. Of course, she started Lamar. Lamar went off. So we'll see. She's got Matthew Stafford going. I still have Baker. I got my stack of Baker and Mike Evans and Jamar Chase, Devon A. Chain, Tank Bigsby, Brock Bowers. So all these guys that come through for me all season long. Tua right now is questionable, but we'll see what happens. He is listed as questionable with a hip injury, but he's been playing through it. So we'll see. We'll see. Anything can happen here.
Well, I know with that Lamar Jackson Christmas Day game, that already put Bodie at a big advantage. Also stacked with Mark Andrews here. There's a lot that would that you would need your team to do, but I think that even though last week it didn't really come through as much as you needed to, Mike Evans and Baker are going to be motivated. They're going to look to get another win. There are a lot of incentives that players have that probably have Mike Evans still looking to get his. There's financial incentives that each team sets for players at the end of the season.
Yep.
And I would imagine that those two would be two guys that are going to try to still do as best as they can. And for fantasy purposes, that's fantastic. That's exactly what you want on your team. So I do think that the Killer Bears still have a strong chance of coming out with a win here, even though the projection right now is not in your favor.
I agree. And that's why I'm picking my own team to win. Killer Bears to lock up the third place spot in the dirt.
Very good. That'll be my pick here as well.
All right. And there you go, everybody. That is our official picks, which means because this is championship week, that's a wrap for Touchdown Talk, guys. I can't believe it. Cannot believe it that we're at the end. Of course, if you were listening on Radio Garden State, we didn't start broadcasting on Radio Garden State till halfway through the season. I think like week 8, week 9 we started, but we will definitely be back on the air next year too on Radio Garden State. And of course, we've been streaming this since day one over on Facebook and YouTube. We will be back. We're talking about doing a little live show for our league to do trophy presentations and all that. So, we'll be in touch with about that kind of stuff. But as far as it's been a great season, Pablo. It's been awesome. So much fun to hang out with you and do this each and every week. I know we've missed a couple weeks here and there, but hey, like life happens. But this has been a lot of fun talking fantasy. I appreciate everybody who's come in and asked us questions and all that, and everybody who's watched all season long from both leagues, the League of Extraordinarily Mediocre Peoples and the Dirt. You guys are the best. We love you. This has been awesome. Pablo, what are your final thoughts and words on this season?
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chris, for doing this with me. This has been so much fun all season. Thank you, Radio Garden State, for having us this season as well. And thank you, everybody out there listening. And hey, listen, it's championship time. Good luck to all of your fantasy teams. Go out and get those trophies.
That's right.
It's time. It's now. The time is now. Best of luck to you all, and it's been a great season.
It sure has been. It sure has been. So thank you guys once again for making Touchdown Talk part of your appointment viewing all week long. Thank you for the support. Thanks to everybody in both leagues. Good luck on your championships. Hopefully you are going to be holding the coveted trophy in your league and not getting the loser trophy penalty, whatever you guys got going on in your leagues. Hopefully you're not the benefactor of that, but it is what it is, right? So someone is getting the poop trophy this weekend. The poop trophy is definitely exchanging hands this weekend. Maybe staying exactly where it is.
Time will tell. We shall see. Monday night we'll know.
Monday night we'll know.
We're 3 days away from crowning new champs across the board. So good luck to everybody.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you once again, and we will see you next football season for a brand new full season of the Touchdown Talk. We appreciate you guys. Pablo and Chris signing off. See you guys in September. Cheers, guys. Thank you.